Hello, today I'm going to show you how to boot a custom recovery on the Amazon Fire 2015 model. Um, because of the way the bootloader is locked, the currently only option for a custom recovery is to boot it instead of um, installing it or flashing it like you normally would. Okay, so I'm going to need a few things. You're going to need a I'm going to show you how to do this on a Windows 10 machine. It's going to be similar for other Windows machines like 7 and 8. You're going to need to install drivers, USB drivers, um, and then you should check and see that those drivers were installed correctly because they've been a little tricky. And you're going to need ADB and fastboot files. And then we're going to test fastboot commands, and then we're going to boot the custom recovery. And then once the custom recovery is booted, I'm going to show you how to root the stock ROM with SuperSU flashable zip and install Google Apps through the custom recovery. Custom recovery I'm going to show you is Twrp. Okay, so you can first thing I usually do is I install or I create a folder called ADB, and then I just place all my files in there that I'm going to be using. Um, I have the update flashable SuperSU file and our Twrp recovery image, um, our Windows drivers, and our ADB files. Okay, so our Twrp recovery um, is been uploaded to Android file host. If you just click this link, um, you'll get download. You'll get a link to download. Yeah, to begin download, and then you'll get a timer that will count down, and then you'll get a list of options for mirrors, and you just pick the one closest to you. They're located in different regions. Okay, and then once you download the file, you should verify that the MD5 is correct. You can just highlight that and then just copy it, um, and then you can use a MD5 checksum utility like this one right here. You just double click on it, and it automatically will paste the checksum, the MD5 checksum in there if you've copied it already. And then you just need to browse to the file that you're going to check the checksum with, and that's the Twrp fire recovery image. Just click that, and then you just click open, and it just basically it's like a fingerprint. It matches what it's supposed to be with what the actual file is. It's just a way to verify that the file was downloaded correctly. Sometimes files get corrupted on there on when you're downloading them, and if it's not correct, it's not going to boot the recovery correctly. Alright, so we'll go back to our custom recovery. Alright, and you want to download our driver file. Let's see, we can click on that. Let's see what, and I have a link to the files here. It's just attachment on XDA. It's 8.28 megabytes. Once you've downloaded that, it'll you can basically unzip it anywhere you want. I just have it in this ADB file folder. You unzip it, you just extract all, and it will create this latest USB Windows folder, and then have a USB folder. And if you go to this Android Win USB INF file, if you right click on that, you'll have an option to install it. Um, Most likely, in some cases that'll be enough for Windows detect your tablet, but most likely you're going to need to go to your device manager. And you can see that right now this is the way it's supposed to be: ADB interface, Android composite ADB interface when the tablet's connected. If it's not, it may be listed as an Amazon Fire, or it'll probably have a yellow triangle next to it. It may not. But if it's not listed like this, you just click on what it is listed as: update driver software, browse my computer, and let me pick. And you can see here that it automatic pick, but most likely you'll have a whole list of things that you'll just want to look for. You look for Android composite ADB interface, and then go ahead and click next, and it'll ask you if you're sure you want to do that, and go ahead and click next or yes until you're done, and then it should show up like this. Alright, so we'll back up here. Let's see, the next thing we need is our update supersuzip file. Let's see here. I'll post a link to Chainfire's XDA thread, which basically you just need to scroll down and go to his installable zip that's on his website. If you click that, it'll open this thread here, his website here, and then you just go down to where it says update supersu 2.4.6. You download that, and then the next thing we need is our Google Apps, and currently the only good package that we have, I believe, is this Open Gaps Pico for Amazon Fire. In this thread here, I'll have a link with the video. And that's another Android file host file. Do the same thing. It'll have a once you download it, you should check the MD5 checksum. It's not as important as the image, but it is important enough. And it only takes a few seconds to check that. Now, both the I don't have the copy here. Both the update supersuzip and the and this fire open gaps arm zip both need to be on the tablet. Just need to, any folder will be fine, or directly on the root of the SD card. Just remember, need to remember where they are so you can find it in the recovery when it's time to install them. Okay, so we have drivers installed. You need to download this ADB zip. I'll post a link to where I have that. Same thing, you need to extract the files, and then it'll create this next folder. You'll have the ADB files and the fastboot exec. You need to copy your command exec here for the way I'm doing it. In Windows 10, you can just go to the search bar here and just type in CMD, and it'll show the command prompt program here, and you can just right click on it and open file location, and then go ahead and just copy that, and then you can close. Otherwise, if that you can't do that, normally it'll be just in System 32 in your C drive. Window, go to Windows and then System 32 command exec file. Once you got that copy, you just paste it into this ADB folder with your ADB files, and then when you do that, um, when you open up the command exec file, it'll have that folder location there. That way you can you're able to use the files that are in that folder. Okay, so next we go ahead and test some ADB commands. Make sure that those drivers are correct. There's a couple different things you can do. You can do ADB space devices. Run that. Should get your serial number of your device, and says device. So that means that your device is connected to the PC correctly, and so commands should work using ADB. Now we need to boot our tablet into fastboot mode, and there's a couple different ways we can do that. You can power down the device and hold the power down button and power it up, or volume down and power it up, and it should boot to fastboot mode. Otherwise, you can also use ADB reboot bootloader. Dash bootloader, and that command will also boot it to fastboot mode. Bootloader, fastboot mode are the same thing on this device. And the next option is ADB reboot space recovery. If you send this command, it'll boot the device into stock Amazon recovery, and I believe that is upside down. You have to flip the device around. If you read on the screen, it says recovery mode in the bottom left. Okay, so this isn't going to be very readable, and you can turn it however you want, but what we have on the screen now is Amazon System Recovery, volume up, down to move, highlight, and enter button to select. And currently highlighted is Reboot System Now, and then the next option is Apply Update from ADB. Apply update from ADB is where you would sideload your stock firmware if you for some reason you need to restore the device to stock. Next option is wipe data factory reset, and next is wipe cache partition, and next is reboot to bootloader, and next is power down, and then you have an option to view recovery logs. Now, so what we want to do is we want to reboot to bootloader, so you just use the volume buttons, and you'll scroll to reboot bootloader, and then you just press the power button, and it should say in the bottom left fastboot mode once it boots for sure. Okay, it says fastboot mode. Now once you've rebooted into fastboot mode, we'll go back here, and you can see it says ADB interface, and then it says HTC Dream. That's not really correct, but that's been working for me. So I'm not sure which driver um, I got that from, but anyways, if it doesn't show up here at all, it's been what I've been having to do is disconnect the USB from the PC for a couple seconds and then plugging it back in. Then it'll pop up in the device manager. Okay, so um, the next command is we can do a couple of tests for the fastboot mode. We got a fastboot product command here, and this is just a way to make sure that it's connected to the PC correctly. Um, and the correct response here is forward. That is the code name for this tablet. Another option is to use fastboot devices, and you just paste that. And if you run that, you're going to get the serial number again, and fastboot is the mode it's in. And anytime you're dealing with Amazon bootloader, um, when you're running fastboot commands, you need to use this code here in between the fastboot and the command. Okay, so that should be good. We'll go back to our custom recovery. All right, so we're connected to fastboot, and we have our recovery image in the same folder as our ADB, so we should be good. We just need to run this command, and it'll boot into recovery once you send this. So you just copy and paste and press enter, and just takes a second to run, and it says USB transferring and transferring OK on the tablet screen. And the recovery is upside down. That'll probably get fixed in later newer versions. Alright, so can't really read this, I'm sure, but if you could read this, I'll see if maybe I can get it to focus. I almost can read it. Let's see if I go to settings. Oh, there we go. Let's see if I can get it to that's better. Okay, you can get an idea what that says almost now. All right, so what we have here is a Team Win recovery project, Twrp, version 2.8.7.0. Battery level is 46%, and the little plus symbol means it's charging. And then we got our time, local time, and we got a CPU temperature. And then we have a home button and a back button, and basically a log of the commands that have run. Okay, and then our options here are install, backup, restore, wipe, mount, settings, advanced, reboot. Oh well. Okay, so I tried the mount options before. They didn't seem to be working. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think the mount options are working. There are some mount options here, but they don't seem to be effective. We have the backup option. You can back up your ROM. You can select internal storage or your SD card, and there's an option for OTG, but I don't think that option probably works. I haven't tested it. All right, I'll go back. We can let's see. There's you can enable encryption if you want to do a backup, and you select your partitions. If you want to just back up the system or the data, um, and then to back up, you just swipe the screen here and wait for it to finish, and it'll create a backup that is restorable back in this recovery for at a later date. All right, and then if you wanted to restore a backup, you just tap restore, and it should show up in this screen here. And then of course you have options for if you have it stored on your SD card or on another drive. All right, and you have wipe options. You can do a factory reset here. Wipes data, cache, and Delvik. You can format data, and you can wipe specific partitions. And it has a repair for or change file system. I haven't messed with that. I don't know how well that works yet. Alright, so it's wipe, mount, settings. Okay, we'll get to install. And this is our Super SU that we're going to root the system with. And then I have my Google Apps file here also. We'll just tap on this Super SU, and it just has the file to flash and has the file name. There's a signature verification box. I think I'm going to leave that unchecked. And you have an option to add more zips. We could flash the Google Apps at the same time. I'm just going to do them one at a time. It says swipe to confirm flash, so you're just going to swipe that, and it shouldn't take very long, and it's a success. So and then we either have an option of going back to the home screen. You can either type home here, you can go home here, or you can wipe the cache in Delvik, or you can reboot the system, or we can go back and we can select the Google Apps now, and we can go ahead and swipe to confirm flash, and this will take a minute or so to finish. And what the Google Apps is doing is it's performing some checks. It's checking to see how much space is available. It's checking to see what Google Apps exist now and what versions they are, and then it's installing those apps into the system, and then it's fixing the permissions, and then it's making a log onto the SD card, and it says it's complete. So we can wipe the cache in Delvik if we want. We can go back to home, reboot the system. Um, I guess I usually wipe the cache in Delvik. If you wipe the Delvik, it's going to take longer to boot, but I think you have less issues if you wipe the cache. All right, so go to wipe cache. Swipe to wipe, and it doesn't hurt anything. It just takes longer to boot that first time after you wipe the Delvik. And I think last time I did this just took a couple minutes, so I'll just pause again. Alright, I think it's finished. If you swipe to unlock the screen, it says successful at the top here. Updating partition. We can go back, and then you just select reboot system. Last time I tried this, it took like 2 minutes to boot. That may be because of the wiping the Dalvik. Last time I saw, it said it was installing update. Probably see that again. Guess one thing I didn't go over, if you already installed Google Apps using the non-root method, it's probably a good idea to delete those files before you do this, so they don't cause conflict. It may be fine to leave them, but not necessary if you're going to install Google Apps this way. Yep. Alright, so I got the installing system update again. And, well, actually it says installing the latest software. But that's not entirely what it's doing. It's probably just rebuilding the Dalvik files and whatever else it needs to do with the new Google Apps. Um, so this was going to take 10 minutes, so I'll pause the video again. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. It just finished booting. And then we got a USB compatibility thing that popped up. Not sure if it's related to Google Apps or not. But anyways, I didn't show you. I forgot to show you that I'd before I started the video, I checked the root access and said it wasn't rooted. Should get a Super Sue pop up, but maybe depends on whether it. Yeah, there we go. Grant. All right, it says device is rooted, and there's a bunch of information there. All right, and let's see. We should have Play Store. There we go. Play Store should ask you to sign in. I shouldn't remember. I have to turn on Wi-Fi, but there's Play Store. They